Hello, everyone. Welcome to our new show, Friendly Talks. I'm Kostas. I'm volunteering here to our organization, Europe for Youth. I'm now 6 months, and I will be until July. Here with us is two good friends, Matt and Danny.
Hi.
Welcome.
Dzień dobry.
And today we will talk about Poland life for young people. I think the three of us, we have experience of that. Danny, Matt, you are years here now. Me, I'm less, but still I have some opinion about the subject. And we'll talk about some topics. But first, let's introduce a little bit ourselves. Who want to start? Matt?
Hello. So my name is Mattheos in Greek. Matthew. Yeah, I'm Greek by the way. And I'm originally coming from Athens. I moved in Krakow in 2020, like 2 years ago, and I was volunteering here in Europe for Youth, like Kostas. And I was doing the European Solidarity Corps volunteering project for a year. And after a year, I decided to stay more in Krakow because the city is amazing. I liked the vibe, and also I had a lot of friends here. So why not staying more here? Also, I didn't want to move back to Athens, to be honest. And then I found a job, and I stayed more, and I'm still working and living in Krakow officially. So yeah. That's more or less from me.
Danny, you?
Hi, Daniel from Portugal. I, like Matthew and Costas, also did volunteering in Europe for Youth. I began in the beginning of 2019 for a one-year project. After I decided to come back, after I was finished, I found a job and started living here again from the end of 2020, and I've been living here and working since then.
Thank you for the introduction. I'm glad that you are here, and I think we have to start with our first topic, that is the first month here in Poland, because I think it's important. We change place. We are from different countries, different culture. We are also from hot countries, all of us. And I want to say to me, like, the feelings. How was the first impact with the new environment here, and what was interesting, what you make feel bad or good, and. Matt, what can you tell us some things about your first month here?
Let's start chronologically, I would say. So we go
Let's
the
go
older one,
to Dan.
Okay.
Yes.
then
Okay,
me,
that's fair.
and the noob. So we just follow the veteran kind of admiral here, and then we go to the new fish.
So I came here in the beginning of 2019. First impressions was immediately the snow, because I never lived before in a city with so much snow in the winter. So the first thing I had to adapt was learning how to walk in the snow. Basically, I was sliding all around when I first arrived here. Then the next day, Piotrek from the association asked me to help him film some project with Polish students where they were throwing around snowballs to each other. So it was like reliving a life of childhood that I never had, watching these kids throwing snowballs at each other. It was nice. Also, when I came here, it was the middle of winter, so all the stores had their doors closed because of the cold outside. But me, being a noob at the time, I thought, oh, the doors are closed, the shop is closed, the cafe is closed, the bar is closed. So if somebody recommended me a nice place, I would get there and find the doors closed, and I was like, okay, I guess it's closed today, and I go back. Also, the first night that I went out, Gosho from the association showed me some cool bars that I would never find on my own, middle of alleyways that you didn't notice if you're a foreigner here. And in the same night, it was the first time I fell on the floor from the snow. Like I slipped and fell, and it was my losing my fall snow virginity. So it was it was interesting.
But you didn't break anything, right?
No. It was just I was drunk already and I fell. Then the next day, my flatmate and colleague from the project, Shanti, arrived, and we walked around the city. And she was the one who fell for the first time. So like it was in the first weekend we were both fell on the snow.
But about the cold, like how you were prepared,
I was prepared in terms of clothing, but not in terms of shoes. So it was very bad, and I had some very cold feet. The only boots I brought were not like good for rain either. So like super bad experience until I bought some nice snowshoes. Yeah, it was a big difference from Portugal for sure.
nice. You Matt?
So for me, I moved in Krakow in February, 15th of February 2020. So the first 2 weeks were actually nice. Like I visited some friends in Rzeszów, which is a city like an hour from Krakow. So I had a bit of a trip. There was no snow when I arrived. But 2 weeks later, COVID-19 arrived. So just 2 weeks of freedom, and then everything was.
The shops was real close.
They were for real closed. Like everything was shut down. Nothing was open, and actually, it was kind of a weird experience, I would say, because the flat that the volunteers are living, like we used to live, and Costa is living now, is kind of big. Like it's spacious. So my flatmate by the time, Zora, she decided to move back to Germany to spend the quarantine with her family. So I had a really huge flat just for my own, and yeah, like it was a big empty flat, reminding me how empty I am inside. No,
For
just kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we were doing stuff online and everything, but majority of experience is not, it's just 50% with loss if it's online. I think you make the project or the workshop and you still have outcomes out of it, but still it's missing the human touch, like the interaction. After that, the restrictions were raised, like there were no restrictions for a while, so there were some projects happening. So yeah, I would say first month would be, half of the month was going out, seeing Krakow, meeting friends. So it was kind of a nice experience. It was cold, but not that much as Daniel's case. Like it was not snowing or something. So that was pretty okay. But yeah, after the second 2 weeks of the month was just indoors with like in quarantine because of coronavirus, and just Witcher 3 and recording some songs for
Nice. Yeah, so I think it depends also the first month here, like if it's winter, if it's summer. Like me, for example, that I came on July and I had the good weather. It was totally different. Like it
Different
was
city.
sun. Yes, different city, different. Also the people, how they were like the move of the people, like
I think I like in
the life.
I like this in Krakow, that it's like you can see actually the seasons, like and
Yeah,
the
yes.
city is changing. Like you have the because it's not that crowded, I would say, and it's not like there's a lot of green actually in the city, so you can see winter with snow. Everything is white and super beautiful, up until the moment they start melting, so everything is just a mess. But that's just transition period, I think. And then you can see autumn, like the leaves falling, being brown and super nice and cute, whatever. And then spring, everything is blooming, and summertime party or whatever.
Even the main square, like one of the most iconic places, like in the summer it looks much smaller because there's full of people and tables from restaurants everywhere. And now, for example, it's at night, it's empty, and you can really see like it's one of the biggest squares in Europe. Really.
I think it's the biggest one in
Yeah, I
Europe.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's because we talk about Krakow as a town. I want now to go to the second part, like the flexibility of the city. I would like to talk about the negative from your opinion and the positive things that has as a city. Like
Okay.
you are now so long, like you have an
Okay.
opinion, I think.
Mm.
I can go.
Yeah, you
Again?
can
Okay.
start.
For me, it was like really impressive the public transport when I first arrived. Like the
Yeah.
tram lines everywhere, even the tram line here close to our volunteer apartment. It was on construction for the most of the year, so we didn't have the tram directly. But I still thought it was amazing that we could go everywhere, like in 20 minutes, basically. And then I start talking with Polish people about transports, and they all hate it for some reason. Like, it's
They don't
always
have come
late.
to Greece.
Yeah, always late because it's like 2 minutes late, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Late? That's not late. That's like period of extra time at the end of the
For
football
the
match.
driver.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah, and I think it's really flexible in terms of public transport. But I do see people complain that the suburbs were like. I guess most people will live in the suburbs and not in the center
the
like
center.
us. And there really isn't much going on apart from Biedronka, basically some
Grocery.
shopping malls. Yeah, and you really need to come to the center and to make your life, basically.
For me, I would say, like, also with transportation, I was amazed because in Athens is like, I don't know, best case you can wait 10 minutes, like 15 minutes for a bus on an average Monday morning where everybody's going to work and everything. So it's super crowded and it's just a mess. So I was really surprised. Also, the size of the city, as you said, like gives you the opportunity to commute within the city just by walking. Actually, just and it's super nice to walk around the city if it's not cold and raining. Yeah, disadvantage, like negative aspect of the city. I would say that I don't know actually. Yeah,
You never thought the negative of the like.
no, I didn't really like.
Or you compare with.
I cannot do it. I
like
don't want to
Athens,
compare.
for
Like I don't want to go and say, oh, there's no sea in Krakow. Yeah, of course, I know where I'm
not
living.
exactly.
Yeah, I know
There's
where
the
I'm
fake
living.
lake.
No.
Yeah, I think maybe negative, just for me as Mattheus, I would say is just the too many Erasmus people on the semesters. So
Yeah.
during, I speak as a local now. Officially, I can, I'm authorized to say that. I think that they're too much. Like the people, the city is getting empty after they leave back to their countries. Like, and after they come back, it's just a chaos everywhere. And
Yeah.
also, they are kind of like a little disturbing groups everywhere. So
Yeah, even not Erasmus, but the it used to be huge before COVID. The bachelor parties, bachelorette parties. Every weekend there was drunk English people. 11 a.m. They're already drunk and having fun, and bothering everybody basically.
yeah, that's true. Like also, but I think that's not.
No, I mean not about the life, the nightlife we will talk about after, but
We have a section. Okay, so
like more. I want more like what it's helped you to be in the town, like even the shops, if what you are missing, like. For me, this is
negative in terms of what we miss.
Yes, in the
Okay.
town, like what you can find easily that you could find in your country, like what they.
Okay. I mean,
like the transport is positive. You talk like also I believe that is super good thing. Like also the road, the things how it's structured is super nice to.
I mean, like I can adjust to Krakow. Let's say as a city. I wouldn't say actually that I miss something from Athens, to be honest. Maybe some specific places or like districts, but not really Athens as Athens. So I don't think I have something that I do miss in terms of city and quality of life.
Yeah, in comparing to Lisbon, I'm thinking we have these like viewpoints with like high views of the city where you can like chill and drink beer from the supermarket. Here, you can drink beer from the supermarket, but it's technically illegal on the side.
Technically illegal.
Yeah, the police don't care so much if you go next to the river, but if you're in the middle of some square, they will come bother you.
Exactly, yeah.
And okay, like I don't eat fish anymore, but when I arrived, the quality of fish in Poland in general, I miss it. That it's not as good as in.
Yeah,
It's a
seafood.
lot of frozen stuff. And
Yeah, also I miss seafood. I would say
some
also.
vegetables, but they are everything now everywhere. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Then like for sure like the weather, the food is the most like
Yeah, so the weather, like it's I miss it a little bit, of course, but the amount of hours of light that I miss a lot. In the winter here, it's
yes,
crazy.
the winter
That
was
it's
yes. Also,
so
I
dark
felt
at 3
yeah.
or yeah.
I felt also this winter me like I was like, okay, it passed 1 week,
Mhm.
okay, 2 weeks, but
Yeah, like
yes,
weather you can get used to it, but this low amount of hours with light, that's crazy.
and also I don't know if you felt the first. Now maybe you are used to about the weather, but the like how the temperature decrease in the night and is in the day, like how much drop.
Like the difference.
Yes, the
Like,
difference. Like I never felt like
yeah, it's a lot actually. But like I mean,
you used it. Like I think
Mhm.
yes, it takes a while, but yes, it was super like chaotic for me. Okay, I think we warm up a little bit, and now we let's go to talk about more specific things like Poland as culture and the people of Poland, like uh, like the how you react and how all these years like
okay.
you get used to, you take some things, you make friends here, like how it was the everyday life with Polish culture, like
Okay, okay. I would say that uh, I, it wasn't hard for me to adapt in a way in Krakow, as it's like a multicultural city. There are a lot of expats,
it's yes, it's important.
and the community is big enough, I would say. So it wasn't hard for me to get along with people and socialize in a way. And about adjusting, also, I'm not that stuck with Greek culture, I would say. So culturally talking, like more open to adapt to a city I'm living. So I don't want to be this case of you can take the kid from the village, but you cannot take the village from the kid. So I don't want to be stuck on, oh, this is not like in Greece. This is not like in Greece. What,
Yeah, yeah.
like you live in a different country, in a different city. Polish culture, I would say, is it's nice, and I like a lot of things as I've seen from projects and products they have, and uh, food wise, I would say like dishes, the cuisine. There are some dishes I like, but there are also some dishes that I'm not used of them. I'm not saying they are not tasty or not. I'm just saying it's just something new.
The language, like
That's
It's
very hard.
That's very hard, actually. Yeah, it's one of the hardest languages in terms of pronunciation, mostly, and grammar. I would say. I speak just Yako Taco basic stuff to communicate with old people in the supermarkets or stuff like that. So not really much, I would say, just the basics. And yeah, people are nice as well, I would say. At least from my experience, I was living in Berlin as well for 6 months. It's way more easier to socialize in Krakow. It's a smaller city as well, that helped a lot. And
and also that you said before the multicultural thing, like is
but also
super
majority
active
of
here, yeah.
but also majority of people in Krakow speak English, so
Yeah.
that's a good
most
thing.
young people, I think, and like most young people, they want to speak English and practice. with
Exactly,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, for example.
So you can find ways to
Mhm.
socialize, and
Yeah, for me, Polish culture it was like it wasn't a huge shock because also Krakow is a bit multicultural, of course. Language, I was like, I knew that coming here, I would not understand a thing at the beginning, so like I got used to it as well, and yeah, now I know the basics as well. About like for me, it was a different experience when I came here to volunteer,
Yes, totally different. Yes.
yeah, and it was like, oh, okay, Polish culture is this, but I live in this multicultural bubble. It doesn't affect me so much. And now adapting to Polish culture in terms of jobs and in terms of paying your landlord, landlady, like I think are actually positive things. Like compared to Portugal, like your landlord, landlady, they come and they fix stuff. They don't like ignore you forever. Jobs like you really have going out time. Like okay, you need to leave at this hour, you go. Like there's no like oh you need flexibility, team spirit. You need to do sacrifice for the team.
Also, I want to talk about this also about the jobs and the expensive because okay now I'm volunteer, but you are like you start to work here. I want
Working
to tell
class
you.
heroes.
You want to tell me some things about like how it is. It's like is better like
I think maybe I don't know if it's better, but I was like really sick of this Portuguese culture of jobs that you like do everything and a bit more, and like everything is for the team spirit and we earn minimum wage and that's it.
They treat it like it's a family business. I think.
Yeah. Like you work for the biggest company in the country, but it's a family business somehow that you need to like devote yourself to.
Also,
And
sorry,
and
continue.
here they don't really expect that. Maybe it's different because we are expats and we work not in Polish or something. But really, I feel like they respect your boundaries a bit more, and they pay you on time and this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's true actually, and also the thing that I see like which is huge difference from Greece is actually the flexibility in finding a job. So there are a lot of jobs for new joiners that they don't actually require you to have experience before. Which something to have something like this to exist in Greece is impossible. Like they ask you, for example, you go to find a job, you are 23 years old, 22, and they say we want 6 years of experience, 5 years of experience,
yes.
and you're like,
Also
sorry, I cannot work when I'm 15. You know that's illegal, kinda. And yeah, they respect boundaries. They are more flexible and stuff. I agree with that, and they don't. For example, in Greece, you sometimes also feel bad to ask for days off. Like hey, sick days, or like they check on you if you took a day off. For example, it's kind of like Dwight Schrute situation, checking if people are actually sick or they actually fake it.
Or even asking you to come work sick.
That's true. And I like also the vibe that there's a feedback for the managers and everything, and the quality of it varies from company to company, of course, and also a lot of corporations and corpo companies are kind of having these policies that they're not really actually cool, let's say, and they're kind of, I don't know, dehumanizing the employee, I would say, in a way. But yeah, there are a lot of opportunities and way more than Greece, at least, and from the south, I guess, you can find more jobs.
And about the expensive, like
the expenses.
Yes, the expense, like supermarket, the life in general. Like
I think you have more buying power than Portugal and Greece for sure.
Yeah.
Like if you think about maybe even like if you earn less, you will buy more stuff with that less for sure. Like and things have increased the price a lot in the last years. And still,
but still, yes.
You don't need to give like most of your paycheck to the flat or the whatever. It's different.
Yeah, I think also it's the prices with the like a salary you get there in a good analogy in a way, because in Greece they keep on decreasing the salaries lately and they keep on increasing the prices for some reason. So that's kind of not possible. It's not logical in a way. And Athens at least is a very expensive city, and I've noticed that I buy double the products of the amount of things from like when I go for groceries, and I pay almost half of the price I would pay in Athens.
That's true.
And about going out, also it's not that expensive. Prices are affordable. Like you don't pay 12 euros for a cocktail, for example, or you don't pay 5 euros for a coffee because it has a view of, I don't know, Parthenon, which is like, yeah, I've seen it every day. I don't have to pay for your rent actually. Yeah, so I would say prices are reasonable and
Like yes, in general, like it's better like our country. Yes, okay. And now I want to move to one of the last topics, but I think it's super interesting, like for someone that is in our age, and it's more like for the nightlife and the have fun life, like what you can do here in Krakow. The stage of the bars, the cafes, the museums. Also something about art. What is your experience until now? Like you are so many years, like you missing something, or like what is your opinion about this?
I wouldn't say I miss something, as it's like if I say I miss something, it's from Greece, which is the different city here. Like I would say from Greece, I would miss the taverns mostly. Like this student tavern, you go and you take things to like aperitivo to pick and eat while you're drinking and discussing. There's not a lot in this culture here in Krakow, Poland. At least they have this kind of dinner and then going for drinks. They don't combine it kind of like in Greece. It's kind of pre-drinking and eating thing.
Yes, I think also in Poland they have like the dinner is like you go out. This is the dinner is like.
Besides that, it's super early,
yes,
7 o'clock. What dinner is that?
Yeah.
Dinner is at 9.
Yeah.
Has to be at 9. I mean,
but I think we're used to it. Like
and also having a big lunch and not such a big dinner.
Yeah.
That's also what they do.
and also the thing that I couldn't get used of was the going night out at 8 o'clock, for example.
Yes.
Like in Athens, I would go night out at 11, 10, but 8 or 7:30 even sometimes is just, I was like, that's too early, like to go out.
One of the pluses is that if you arrive at a bar at 10, 11, there will be some people finishing their night out and leaving, which like leaves a free table. Like
Exactly.
happened yesterday.
That's a good.
Yeah.
Or if you want to do something the day after in the morning, you don't sleep late, so you wake up early. So that's maybe good. I don't know what else. Museums are like the city has a lot of museums, both for art and history museums. Like
they have like music. I think also because Krakow has many festivals. It's a town of festivals. This is also a good thing. Like I remember that I came here. And the first thing was also festivals.
Literature festival,
yes,
music festival.
They have a lot actually.
Yeah, like, and this is important, like, because I think, okay, also in Athens we have, but not so many things in the same time and so much choices. Like,
also smaller city, so
it's
like
also
you learn it easily. Yeah. I was thinking of also these taverns that are very common in Portugal and Spain that you go to eat and drink at the same time.
Exactly, yeah.
We don't have much here. And like there's like this middle road of going out for dancing and going out for sitting and drinking a beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't really exist. Like most places are either dancing or just sitting and drinking. And like in Lisbon, those are more common, I guess, that you have the tables and then a dance floor.
Yeah.
Here, I would say Alchemia is like the best example of this.
Yes.
You can sit upstairs and go dance downstairs. Like this is very common in Lisbon. And here, I remember Alchemia, Spitálna maybe, I don't know. It's more dancing only.
Yeah.
I don't
The
know.
Kuleg maybe sometimes depends on the how the party is going, I would say. But also they close super early sometimes.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like they opened the lights yesterday at 3 o'clock in Le Coulet, for example, this place. Well, I was weirded out. I was like, 3 o'clock? Like that? Because I was expecting them to close earlier. Last time, for example, they closed at 1 o'clock. So that's a kind of a flexible thing they do based on how many people or whatever, I don't know. But yeah, they close in general super early. And besides that, I was also a safe city. Like for
Yes.
after,
Yeah.
like for a night out, if you go out and you go back home alone late at night, it's super safe. There's no such thing as oh, who's following me, or
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
it's important.
are they gonna rob me or whatever in the middle of the street, which in others was the case.
Mhm. Also, never felt tricked by a taxi driver.
Also,
That they are going
yeah.
around. Yeah, like it's super common in Lisbon. You need to like show that you know what where you're going.
If you don't know, you're just
Yeah, if you say like, oh, do you know? Yeah. If in Lisbon you take a taxi drive and they ask you, oh, what do you think about this route? Do you think it's better? And you're like, if you don't show that you know, like, oh no, this one is better for sure,
Yeah, yeah.
they will just take you for a ride around the block, basically.
And also, I don't get the question sometimes because it's like, hey, it's your job. Are you asking
and
me?
you have a GPS.
A
on the
GPS,
app.
yeah. Just go the shorter like
Yeah.
Yeah,
option.
it's true that is not
Yeah.
here. But with the bike, I think like Matt, you use a lot the bike.
Yes, it's super safe. Nothing to compare with Athens.
Yeah, okay.
In Athens, I was riding the bicycle and I got crashed by a car.
Fuck.
And not only that, after when I was on the ground, like on the asphalt, I was okay. I wasn't like I wasn't hit by the car. My bicycle was, so the back tire of the bicycle, and not only they didn't come to ask me if I'm okay, if I'm feeling dizzy or if I'm hurt, they also started shouting to me to go away from the middle of the road and what am I thinking, and I'm driving a bicycle in Athens. So it's not only the infrastructures that they are not proper for people to bicycle, it's also the mentality of the drivers that they don't consider bicycle as a vehicle, which I get it, and it's not safe to drive a bicycle in Athens. And here in Krakow, I never had any issue like that. You have priority, they respect the lanes and everything, and a lot of people bicycle and they have it in their mentality as well. The law is also supporting a lot bicycling. Infrastructures are just working finely, and also they don't steal bicycles. Like there are occasions, but not as much as in Athens, which is weird. Like if you leave your bicycle outside in Athens, probably they're gonna steal it. But here I have my bicycle downstairs outside my flat like for months and never happened. But there are occasions they steal, of course. But I would say it's way safer of stealing bicycles because they're everywhere. Like it's like stealing I don't know, going to steal a glass of water.
Yeah,
Like,
or fruit outside.
yeah.
You're not adapt to go with bicycle.
No, I don't drive bicycle. I need to learn this spring, I think. Finally.
It's super fast. Like it's even faster than driving a car or getting the tram sometimes. It's way more comfortable because you are flexible. You can. That's kind of the cheat part of riding a bicycle because you can ride on the pavement sometimes, but also on the road. So you just choose the shorter options.
If you're a driver or if you're a walker.
And some drivers get like some people walking on the pavement just get angry because you're like, you can go from the street.
Yeah.
And I'm also doing it if I don't ride the bike. But if I ride the bike, then that's kind of selfish. But yeah, I mean,
I never lived in Berlin, but what I remember is that all the time people are ringing the bell behind you to cross in the street.
that's super annoying. Yeah.
And here they don't do it as much. They don't ride on the streets as much.
I think
but
they
also
tell
don't do it.
Seprasam.
Yeah, also they don't ring the bell at all. So
Yeah.
sometimes you're like really don't have no idea that somebody's coming.
But like that, at least I don't do. I have the decency. When I go on the pavement, I'm waiting for them to walk, and I'm not just ringing the bell like, "Hey, get out of the pavement" or whatever. And yes, I would say a lot of parks to do activities as well, like for sports and. Amazing thing also, I don't know if it's like in Greece, I never heard about it. Like multisport, for example, that if you work for a company that you have the card and you go inside for free to do sports or like go to the gym, and that's also a good thing, like feature of working in Poland, I would say, with the companies at least. The parks, like they have facilities for basketball, football, whatever, like a lot of stuff, which is super good. In Athens, that would be probably abandoned or destroyed.
So not so good structure, like yes.
I don't know. Like if it's not guarded in Athens, somehow people think I can steal it. There's this mentality.
Or in Athens we have more stadiums, but we don't have parks. Like you don't see like so much.
What
green.
do you mean more stadiums?
Well, more football stadiums, more like like alone
fields,
stadiums, fields,
just to
and
play.
yes.
Yeah, nobody's a football player though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, no, yeah.
and you cannot
Like-
even enter there.
Like here, you can go. I mean, for running, for example, or for other activities in the park, and you can do everything.
Mm-hmm.
In Athens, we didn't have this. Like we have in only specific places. Just go around. Like
And also going to watch football matches is safer in Krakow than
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
Athens.
Yeah, man, it feels weird because they are so passionate, the fans, and so loud.
Besides Wisła and Cracovia, maybe that's the only exception that things are
Maybe,
not
maybe.
safe, but
Derby,
still
yeah.
way safer.
yeah.
Yes.
And now that we talk about, I want to talk about traveling. Like you are here a lot, and we are in the middle of the Europe. Flights are super cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is your experience? Like,
I mean, for me, the times I live in Portugal, like really at the end, western end of Europe.
that's
It's
why also
completely
for
different.
us, like, it's
Yeah, yeah.
difficult from. We are the most expensive airport.
Here I can take a bus to go anywhere basically. Like I got used to getting like 7-hour buses. Like I just listen to podcasts and I end up super far and it's fine. Yeah, I visited a lot of Polish cities already. Went to Berlin, to Budapest. Yeah, and I still wanted to visit more. I think it's like if you're coming here to volunteer, for example, that you have a lot of free time, it's a great opportunity to travel around. Yeah, even with COVID, of course.
I mean, yeah, like, and also I think it's comfortable traveling,
Yeah.
like way more comfortable than and way cheaper, I would say, from Greece at least.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
way cheaper, way cheaper.
Like the tickets and I mean, like depends on where you wanna go, but the accessibility you have just to change country just by crossing the borders and the countries within European Union is just like also pretty amazing to do, like having this flexibility. And yeah, I would say also besides you can also, that's a good thing to, like the nice thing, traveling and including, for example, which is in the culture of Polish people a lot, like hiking, going on the mountains and hike.
Yes.
That's super nice actually, and you can go to the mountains and just hike. And I was weirded out because I was expecting in Greece people do it, but it's not that famous, I would say. And we were on the Tatras hiking, and I was expecting us and like the group of people we were just to, and it was crowded on the mountains.
Yeah, it's like a city.
Yeah, I was like, wow, like people just waving at you and saying hi, co-hiker, fellow hiker, whatever. So it was kind of nice experience. Yeah, also I like in Poland the hiking and the facilities are nice, like nice paths
Paths,
and everything.
yes.
It's super good. So yeah, party.
Okay, like I think we close all the topics, and now I want to share like a conclusion, like what is now your feelings? Like you feel good here, like as we say, I understand
the office?
Not in the office. Like in general in Poland, like also with the COVID times, because it was difficult for everyone. Like after this, like the life gets better.
I mean, COVID was for everyone like a situation. We never had this case before, so we're not experiencing that. It's a new reality that we adapted to, I would say, and it feels good going back to the normal. And also from March, I think they're gonna just stop the restrictions. Yeah, so I would say it was way better than having the restrictions that they were having in Greece, which were not that friendly, I would say, and the kind of strict, way more strict than they should be. So it's kind of a different reality. Every time I go to Greece, everybody's fucking scared from COVID, and they are just living in a paranoia of COVID still. And here is just things going back to normal, and it's kind of weird, I would say. So yeah, I mean, the best moment ever after COVID, I remember, was this night that they said from 15th of May, I think, that we are not obliged to wear the masks outside. And everybody was on the streets outside in the bars. And when on the 14th, So when the day would
Midnight.
change midnight, there was
Mhm.
like a countdown, and people were just throwing the masks away on the street. That was amazing because there was a nice, feeling of going back to reality. Actually,
This was in 2020 or in last year.
last year I was last
Okay.
year.
And when the bars opened also, because there was a
Yes,
Exactly.
few.
yes,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was close.
Yeah.
So that was a nice feeling. But in general, yeah, life is
Like for like someone that want to start the life here, like you will advise him like
I think
Just
it's a
do it.
good city to be your first city to live out abroad, for
Yes.
example. It's a good city to like grow as a person, like with some easy stuff. Like a lot of people speak English.
exactly.
You can find a job easily in your language or in English. Yeah, and like rent is not crazy expensive, so like it's a good first step as like a young person to take and to learn and stuff. My feelings here are like I feel super comfortable. Like of course it is not a huge city. Like stuff gets old
But-
and you go to the same places, but like it's still
you
nice.
feel like you develop every day, like you have some
Yeah, and
Yeah,
like
that's important.
now I'm like really looking for the summer. Like it will be like
yes
going to the
that's,
same places, but it's completely different. For example, going back to the lake and stuff like that.
That's also a thing, I think. But I guess in my case, it's not that I feel bad going to the same places. It's mostly that I tend to go to the places I like to hang out more. So
Mhm.
it gives me the sense of the local. Like I go to the same place, and the barman, for example, knows my drink, or I know where they have the better coffee
Mhm.
to drink, or where it's more quiet, so I can go read a book or study something. And if you want to find a new place, I think there are places to find
Yeah.
because there are a lot of underground places, in passages, in I don't know, like just a bunch of places. So yeah, I mean, it could be that sometimes you will get bored of the places you go, but at the same time there are options. And also, I think yeah, as Daniel said, it's like a good city to start living abroad. Lots of expats. It's small, and for me, the size of the city is just perfect. It's not that big, not that small though, and just I love it. I love this thing that the city is changing totally based on the seasons.
yes
Super nice. Because in big cities you kind of lose that. Like it's
Mhm.
just the weather you say, but you don't feel that the city is changing in a way. It's not so present. It exists, but you don't see it that much. And yeah, just I would say being in Krakow is a good option, and life is nice here. Yeah, just bunch of jobs. I don't know, super good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
perfect
Exactly.
perfect thank you for all of this
we're not getting paid. Ah, okay.
It's paying
in,
after
in, a,
the
in a
thank you.
while,
I think
in a
so.
while. And thank you also you guys that you listen us. This month we will have some events in our association in Urzenica 14 in Krakow, and we wait you here. Also, we will upload everything in our Instagram, Facebook, Skills Exchange in Krakow, and keep it up.